Believes her husband was killed by poisonous chemicals during the Gulf War. Patricia Frawley believes military officials have been lying for years to cover it up. David Jackson has details in this extra exclusive.
This is murder, pure and simple, and I will never forgive it or forget it, because my husband is gone.
Patricia Frawley says she'll do whatever it takes to get justice, even if it means dragging Colin Powell, Norman Schwarzkopf, and George Bush into court.
I cannot believe a government this powerful and this large did not know this was taking place. I don't buy it.
Her husband, Richard, was a 37-year veteran of the Merchant Marine. During the Persian Gulf War, he served as a chief engineer on 3 ships that transported weapons and supplies to U.S. troops in Saudi Arabia. This home video was taken by a shipmate during one of those voyages.
He was a very adventurous person, or he couldn't have the type of job he did. He would write to me and tell me all the things that he had seen, and he would bring things back for us.
But during his 3rd voyage on this ship called the Pride, Richard suddenly fell ill.
He told me that he had trouble breathing and that he felt really, really bad all over.
And he never got better. When he returned home to Florida, the symptoms worsened. He had rashes, joint pain, congestion, tingling in his limbs, and even partial paralysis. Doctors were baffled.
They looked us in the face and said, "This is terminal, and you're not going to make it. But we really don't know what it is."
Richard and Patricia were convinced he had Gulf War illness. They believed he was exposed to chemical and biological agents in the Gulf, and they filed a lawsuit against the U.S. government.
It was so pitiful. It was heartbreaking to watch this man, 6'3", 250 pounds, go down like this, and knowing he knew what was causing it.
Patricia and their teenage daughter, Brooke, nursed him night and day.
He was always sick, and my friends would just ridicule me. They didn't have any idea how hard it was to get out of bed every day, and you'd hear him coughing and gagging and just sick, or he'd fall and he'd hurt himself badly.
His lungs were clogged with mucus and he needed an oxygen tube to breathe. But Richard gathered his strength for this video deposition in July of 1996.
Did you ever have occasion where you heard alarms going off on shore?
Just when I was in Saudi Arabia, I was out and then we're going ding-a-ling, and then went down the street ding-a-ling. I said, "What's that?" And the soldier said, "Those chemical lamps, there's dust in them, I think."
Anytime you go up against the government, you better be prepared for a long, hard fight, which is what we're prepared for.
Joe Milton is the Frawley's attorney. He says their case is based on negligence. They allege the U.S. military knew there were biological and chemical agents present in the Gulf, but civilians like Richard were sent right into battle zones without adequate protection.
There wasn't one monitoring device on any of these ships Mr. Frawley was on.
Did you ever receive any training with respect to chemical or biological warfare defense?
Absolutely none.
Just 3 months after that deposition, Richard's downward spiral was coming to an end.
No one should have to go through this. No one should have to suffer like this.
The Frawleys made this videotape to document his pain and suffering. He was just 60 years old at the time.
We take the best of the country and send them over to these goddamn places and then ignore them. I don't think that's right.
The day before he died, I was at his side. He said, "Please, I know it's going to be hard for you alone now, but don't give it up, because they have killed me."
I told him how sorry I was and how I wished that I could just do anything for him. And all he could say was, "Thank you. Thank you, Brooke. Just thank you. And I love you. And you'll be all right. You and your mother will be fine."
Richard's life ended on November 14th, 1996, but Patricia and Brooke have vowed to carry on his fight for justice.
The government doesn't want to own up to the fact that what they've done is criminal. My father's not here. I don't ever get to see my father again. I don't get to walk down the aisle with my father.
I do love my country. I really do. But I'm not real pleased with it right now. I'm really not. My husband is gone. And I miss him so.
It is such a sad story. The court date is set for December 11th, but it's still unclear whether Colin Powell, Norman Schwarzkopf, or former President Bush will actually testify. We'll keep you posted on the developments.